The circular ditch complex in Pömmelte was built around 3000 BC and existed for around 1000 years. The site has a diameter of around 115 meters and is comparable to Stonehenge, both in terms of its age and size. It consists of 7 circles of ramparts, ditches, and palisades. These circles form the structure of the site. It has been extensively reconstructed. Although carvings have been added to the pillars, these are fictitious as it is not known what they originally looked like. What is certain, however, is that the colors black, white, red, and ochre were used, the colors of the great goddess. This indicates a clear reference to the matrifocal culture and religion of the Stone Age. The site is astronomically oriented. In contrast to Göcek, Pömmelte does not focus on the winter solstice, but on the intermediate festivals. These festivals, as they were also celebrated by the Celts, are based on the sunrises and sunsets of Imbolc, Beltane, Samhain, and Lughnasadh. The site can therefore be seen as a proto-Celtic calendar, aligned with these intermediate times. The site was ritually closed in 2050 BC. Similar to Göcek, important pillars were removed, ritually burnt and scattered in the ditches, a ritual dismantling of the site. The site continued to be used for rituals for several hundred years after the closure, as the ramparts were still visible. However, its main use ended around 2050 BC. The tangible dragon power in Pömmelte is particularly impressive. This power still seems to be present, as if it were dancing with the people of the past and with us today. The community's connection to this force is demonstrated time and again in regressions and journeys to the ancestors and the megalithic culture. This power can be felt in a very vivid way in Pömmelte, in a place that stretches from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age and is still alive 4,000 years later. The circular ditch appears very lively and multi-layered. There is a clear reference to the life force, but the ancestors are also strongly present. Particularly striking are the swirls of color, which are difficult to classify but show a high level of energy. The structure of the installation is also very complex. On one side, everyday objects and stone tools for scraping were found, which are associated with life. On the other side, axes were found. Archaeologists interpret this as male and female sides. However, it could also be the side of life and the side of war or death. The carvings on the wooden pillars activate the complex world view of the construction. Even if it is not certain what they originally looked like, the pillars show depictions of gods, wooden menhirs carved in human form. The world view of life and death, which is already manifested here, shows a close connection between the two concepts. The geomantic situation in Pömmelte is fascinating. In contrast to Göcek, there is no goddess focus here, and no central power point in the middle. Instead, there is a powerful landscape being, a landscape genius, who works in the inner area of the palisades. This being is a hybrid of a landscape goddess and a collective elemental of the people who used to live and perform rituals here. A dragon line runs roughly from northeast to southwest, but does not intersect the center of the facility exactly, but is slightly offset to the southeast. A ley line runs in a northwesterly direction, leaving the complex but not entering it. Pömmelte is one of the few examples where a source point of a power ley line exists. The place has a strong vital force and acts like a dragon portal. The dragon power can still be felt strongly around the pillars today. These ancestral pillars reinforce the quality of an ancestral space. The complexity of the site can be seen in many aspects: the landscape genius, the ley line source point, the dragon portal, and the orientation to the intermediate cardinal points. There are 2 different sides to the site, which were used in different ways archaeologically. Finally, the site was ritually buried around 2050 BC. Pömmelte is a fascinating place that is still active today.